Welcome back. Stogies of the Week, episode 294. I am your host, Joe Hozempa. We have live in studio Dr. Doug White.
Hello.
We also have live via Zoom Chris Clark, who's going to tell us what he has been smoking over the past couple of weeks or days. I give you the sticks of the week. We give you the Stogie Geek rating system. For show notes and sticks we are talking about, you go to stogiegeeks.com/294. That's the episode as we took down the Stogie Geeks wiki, and you'll have what we've been smoking. You have a link to Chris's page. You want to friend him or complain about any of the smokes that he recommended, complain to him. You want to complain to me, Joe H at StogieGeeks.com. If you complain about anything Doug says, you can throw Joe H at StogieGeeks.com.
Send it to Joe.
I'll email it to me, and I'll forward you his Security Weekly.
And I'll ignore it.
Right, there you go. Chris, I was looking over some of your sticks, and I'm like, oh, yeah, we got some common theme, which relates to the first segment of this show, ironically. So that's just the way that goes. So what have you been smoking?
Absolutely.
Oh, you have the Stogie Geeks rating system, right? You know what it is?
Yeah, I don't remember the numbers.
Well, that's okay. You don't need the numbers. You tell me what you think, and then it's on the column over there.
Joe will put it in the rating system.
I'll put it in.
Well, I've given everything a rating based on the rating system. I just don't remember the 0 through the 5 stuff. I think my favorite that we have is the Fight Chuck Norris. I think that's a worthy rating. So let's jump right in. Since you guys are smoking Lonsdales, why don't we just go ahead and talk about one of my favorite Lonsdales. It's a rarity. It's a rare Lonsdale, not widely available up here in the north, but can be ordered through some online places. Again, you can shoot me a message. I can point you in the right direction. One place is Underground Cigar, Ryan Rodriguez's home shop. And he's
king of boutiques right there.
That is the king of boutiques. You're absolutely correct. Don Wiggins is the man. Ohana Pulse in the Lonsdale. This is a limited availability. All right. The wrapper is an Ecuadorian Habano. And you guys are going to have to pardon me if I don't pronounce everything perfectly right.
I've been here for over 2 years. Paul corrects me all the time. Don't worry about it.
The binder is a Nicaraguan Condega. The filler is a Nicaraguan Jalapo and an Omepte.
Okay.
All right. This cigar is going to be a medium to full body. And basically, Ryan Rodriguez has nailed it here with well-balanced, pleasing aromas and spice. This cigar is for just about anybody who appreciates a medium to full cigar. And so I put a little description in here. Pulse has a pigtail and closed foot. It's got a creamy nuttiness to it with some subtle woody and floral notes. The small amount of Omepte tobacco is probably my favorite part. It adds a complexity and flavor that just sets it apart from other cigars. It makes the cigar really special. Right off the bat, you get some smoky cedar flavors, and the retrohale offers cedar with some great peppery notes. As it gets going, it's got slight hints of pepper that coat the palate with a nice blend of spicy cedar, creamy nutty flavors that blend into a slight oaky flavor. It's got an easy draw with a nice ash at the end. Now, I've smoked quite a few of these cigars, and Ryan Rodriguez is a great guy. He does a lot for the community. So I give it a Fight Chuck Norris based on availability, price, and the fact that the cigar will blow your palate away.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fight Chuck Norris all out of the gate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Man, there you go. I've have to.
We can quit now.
Do you have some? Like, do you have some?
And are they here?
No, they're not here. Right? They're not here. But
I'll bring you one next week.
All right, cool. Yeah. Fight Chuck Norris. Yeah. I can't wait. 2 weeks from now in Stogie Geeks. I had that Fight Chuck Norris. That's just bullshit. No, I'm kidding. I'm on. Right? I get it. Omete, is that the uniqueness?
Omepte?
Yeah, Omete.
Yeah.
Well, what I find unique about that is it's only relevant when you can capture the spice if you're really into the retrohale. Like the really, really slow retrohale. And I would imagine that if a Stogie Geek listener were to get their hands on one of the cigars that you so highly rated, that they would have to smoke it slow and take their time with that, because some of the times when you just put a scotch of something in there, like, you put some Perique in there, or you put some Amente, or you try to do that, if you're just smoking quick, or if you're on a computer, or maybe fishing, and you're not taking your time, if you're good at fishing, if you suck at fishing, then you have plenty of time to enjoy a cigar, right? With that being said, I think if you retrohale it, you'll be able to pick up those pepper components.
I think the retrohale is the key part of any smoke, personally.
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of people who don't, actually. And I'm like, you're missing.
If you're not retrohaling, you're missing half the cigar.
All right, Paul gave me this cigar like 8 months ago, right? And it's set in my humidor, and I just, had some other stuff. We have an influx of stuff that comes in weekly here and there. And I've actually had a chance to reacquaint myself with the ESPINOSA 601 La Bomba Napalm.
Okay.
Did you ever have it?
Nope.
No?
Oh, he was smiling. I thought.
Yeah, I know, you're smiling. It's like I'm trying to read your body language over here.
I'm smiling at the name because I'm trying to think of how I would say that after about 5 glasses of scotch.
601 Napalm. Yeah. You know what I mean? Come on.
That's what he thinks he's saying. Yeah, it's like
601. Right? It's a 601, right? The format, it was a Robusto. The size is 6x52. Your wrapper is a Habano with Connecticut broadleaf. Your binder is Nicaraguan. Your filler is Nicaraguan. It's available in a bunch of different sizes. However, the sizes, so the 601 blend is equated to different names there. However, the Robusto is called the Napalm, but the 601 blend is available in Robusto, Corona, Petite Corona, Toro, and Gordo. Starts off with a dark, oily Nicaraguan Habano wrapper, has some extra fermented Nicaraguan long fillers in there. That's the key, Nicaraguan long fillers. You know what that means? Stogie Geeks listeners, if you have a long filler with short filler, over short filler, the long filler is portable. What I mean by that, you can fish, you can golf. If it's a windy day, you might not burn your shirt. So think about that when you're making a selection. It's got some Nicaraguan long fillers on there. You light it up, you get traces of that Nicaraguan pepper. You get a little bit of cocoa and leather and espresso that I love so much, especially the leather that you get from the Nicaraguan towards the end, where you kind of just like, wow, man, it's like a cross between like a coffee and a creamy type of blend. It's full bodied. I mean, this is a full body, no pun intended, flavor bomb, right? Has a little bomb on it and whatnot for the logo. But it's a flavor bomb. But what I like about it is it's tasty. It's not all pepper, all pepper, all pepper. It starts off a little bit and then it mellows right out. It's really, really tasty. And I actually turned to Paul and I said, have you ever, like, I knew he had one, but I'm like, have you had these lately? He goes, dude, they're freaking tasty. I'm like, I know, right? You know? So I did a little research on them price-wise, right? And they're freaking cheap. Like, they're cheap either if you get them in the store or they're cheap. And, like, you can get them for around $6, you know, which you'll say, well, wait a minute. Yeah, you can get them for around $6. Definitely worth a try. I gave them a $5, but I could probably see where they would go box split. But I did give them a $5. And you know, but, you know, I wouldn't give them a total box split there unless I would kind of get into them more. I'm actually going to purchase a 10-pack. And then kind of continue with that there.
Makes me want to go out and get one.
Well, I'll dig through Paul's humidor and get you one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul.
What'd you think? I went out just
I'm making notes, so
I go shopping, right? It's right behind Doug. You know,
when they're off camera, I'm going through the humidor.
Yeah, right. He leaves at 4:30 every day, so you can, you know,
everything that says "do not touch" is like we're just like, what's this?
Yeah, right.
Those notes only apply to Josepa, don't worry.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. What else have you been smoking?
So I'm going to top you with that one. And, you know, this cigar is probably one of my favorites in the top 5. Had it the other night. and we're going to talk a little bit about Mr. James Brown and black label trading. So James Brown is really kicked it up a notch in the terms of what it means to smoke a full-bodied cigar. He's gone to a level of peppered steak as opposed to peppered chicken. How's that for an analogy? So I smoked the black label trading Lawless, and this cigar can be found in a lot of the shops up here. I know Twins and those guys are carrying them up in New Hampshire. I don't know what they are down in Rhode Island, but they can be found in a lot of shops in the Northeast, especially down south. They're really big down south, but he's got his own factory down there in Nicaragua, and he's doing great things. So the filler on this is Nicaraguan, the binder is Nicaraguan, and the wrapper is an Ecuadorian Habano Rosado. The wrapper, I feel like, is what really gives you the sweet and spicy contrast.
What was the size?
The size on that one,
because I know the law. It doesn't. The reason why I'm asking is because most of the flavor of the cigar comes from the wrapper, which is why Lanceros smaller. You have more of a wrapper ratio, which is why we're a big fan here. It's supposed to be a little bit more tastier on the palate. It's the only reason why I was asking if you had the Robusto or the Toro. That's all.
I believe it was a Toro.
Yep, I gotcha.
But and again, this cigar was gifted to me a while back from somebody at Underground Cigar Shop in Texas. And so this is kind of what I wrote. This smoke will knock your socks off. James Brown and crew certainly know what they're doing. They're taking the industry by storm with their innovative blending procedures and their never-ending surprises every time. The cigar offers a sweetness with floral notes, nuttiness, earthiness, cocoa, cedar, spice, and leather. Starts out with a mild pepper flavor, nothing to be surprised at with James Brown. And then about a third of the way in, the pepper increases, blending with the sweetness, and the retrohale becomes bliss that many think you can only find in Hollywood.
What the hell? What are you trying? What are you taking, a creative writing class?
Yeah, man, this is how I felt.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Stogie Geeks, I have said all throughout 2017, going into 2018, that's the company to watch. I have it on documentation. I've been saying it over and over again in 2018. James Brown and Company is the company to watch in 2018 for that. And the Black Label work stuff is just improving, and it's like every time they come up with something new, it just the bar is just raised so far.
And it's great to see too. One of my favorite cigar shops down there in Rhode Island is down in Westerly, over at Tom's place there at Vintage, and he carries all of James Brown stuff.
Yeah,
and I had some Nicaraguan exclusive factory tour stuff that he brought back last year, and man, I was totally blown away.
He gave those to you?
He gifted me one, yeah.
Damn it! He's given me a few of those, and I thought I was the only one.
No, you're not that special.
I thought I was the only one. Yeah, they're actually gifted right off the line when you go to the factory tour. They're freaking awesome.
Yeah, and he came back with a couple boxes, and only certain people got them, so you should feel special.
I do feel Tom, even pre-vintage, Tom and Company have appeared on my cigar radio show many times. Tom's great people. Tom's super cool,
And he's got a great place down there too. Awesome place to sit back and hang out.
Yeah.
What I like about this Lawless though is just when you think it can't get any better, all of a sudden as you start to finish up the cigar and get into the last third, it just becomes this flavor-packed medley of like spicy brown sugar sweetness.
Medley.
Man,
I'm gonna boost up my adjectives next week with the cigar ratings. You're really pushing. I don't even think I've used medley in 2 years. I like it. Right? No,
we're getting a thesaurus. For
I am. I'm like I'm gonna get like a thesaurus. Thank you. I'm gonna get a thesaurus and talk about medleys and stuff.
Somali.
So you and what?
I get a thesaurus and Somali, and then you
Molly the street drug.
Yeah.
Nah.
Then you'll be sitting there going, I like this. I love this. It's the
We'll
best
just
thing
stop it
ever.
and drink.
Nah, I couldn't picture me on any of that stuff. I'm freaking crazy.
We're going to try not to picture you.
with coffee and Bloody Marys as is.
Yeah, there you
what I
go.
mean?
So I give this a $5 to a box split.
What?
Mainly,
Wait! I gotta interrupt you for that. You're gonna give that a $5 to a box split after that freaking medley?
I know. We were ready. I was ready to marry that.
I was ready to say, bro, if you give this thing a fight, Chuck Norris, your other 2 or 3 or whatever you're rated better not be more, because you clearly we need to talk to you about this rating system. You got.
let me explain why though.
All right, quickly.
So, quickly. So basically, the reason why is just based off of the price. I'm a guy that's sensible with my money when it comes to buying cigars.
Okay, I'm not.
And well, you're rich. We all know that.
No, I'll just good artists create, great artists steal. Go on.
I would give it a $5 to a box split.
Okay.
Just based off of price. I mean, flavor wise, it's a oasis. But
another one, yeah.
Will you quit using Oasis? I gave one on the show in
Oasis.
2 years. Look at you. Oh yeah. We're gonna.
This one's worth it though. Have you had it?
No, I know this. I know the Stogie Geeks listeners are gonna be like, "Wow, I really like this Chris guy. He loves everything. Frickin' this Joe kid hates everything, right?" All right. So you would give it a 5. Why? It's priced there. I mean, it's a small batch cigar company if you compare them to the scales of things. I don't know. All right, that's cool. The only reason why I'm knocking your rating is not the rating; it's the delivery of the rating. You know what I mean? Had a super cool cigar. It was constructed well. Well, how'd it taste? It
was an oasis of heavenly pleasure.
It was constructed great. Well, how'd it taste? The construction. Let me tell you about it. I'm only busting. If you can't have fun, you're doing it wrong, all right?
Hey, listen, I haven't smoked a cigar in a while that I don't like. So why don't you give me some cigars I don't like, and then I'll sit here and
I have a couple of I have a couple of cigars that I won't rate. You know what I mean?
Can I rate some gurkhas for you?
Right. Anyway, I had a CLE Corojo. Right? It was a Robusto. That size is 6x50. You have a Honduran Corojo wrapper. Binder and filler are Honduran. It's available in a Corona Extra, Figurado, Gordo, Robusto, and Short Robusto. I've actually had everything but the Figurado and the Gordo. I'm not a fan of Gordos. That's just me. I like the small stuff there. I just think it tastes better. However, we did get some test blends from a sponsor, and they sent us all 60 ring gauges.
Yay.
And I'm like, oh, and I've had one this morning, and I rated it. I was like, wow, this cigar is pretty cool. Like it in the 60. I'm probably going to love it in the little one. So I got to email her and get some smaller gauges. But I digress. The CLE Corojo has it's a medium body profile. It's got some complex nuances in there for sure. How do you like that? Complex nuances, right? For sure. It's a little twisty turvy when it comes to the spice. You know, you get a little bit of pepper in there. You get some earth. You get some coffee. Coffee as you smoke it. If you're starting to get that, obviously, if I'm having it with the coffee, which I did. You kind of get that natural sweetness from there that builds. Great smoke component and the texture of the smoke. I've mentioned this on a couple other sticks as well, where the texture of the smoke from what you're drawing is different from the taste of the retrohale. And that being said, you get a really creamy texture on the palate from the smoke. It just triggers a bunch of smoke. I only use the cat eye or the V cut on that. I can only imagine if the guillotine. I don't guillotine a lot of cigars there. But in regards to the rating, I gave it a 5. I mean, it's got a good price point there. I'm not digging the new wrappers that the CLE stuff's coming out with. You know, it reminds me of Esteban Carrera's stuff. You know what I mean? I got to take off the cellophane, then I got to take off the little wax, and I got to take off the foot thing. And I don't smoke with the bands on any. You know, it takes me 20 minutes to get into it. It's not 20, it's like 4. But anyway, that's not why I gave it a 5. I just gave it a 5. It's got complex nuance. It's all about the retro hail. There you go. That was the CLE Corojo.
Yeah, CLE makes a good product. I've had quite a few there. I'm a big fan of their box press stuff.
Yeah, they do. Christian does a good job there. He's fast and furious when it comes to the blends, and in the mix, he comes up with some good stuff for sure.
So my next cigar is my personal favorite to start the day with a good cup of coffee. Is a Hiram and Solomon Entered Apprentice. Comes in the Gavel 5x60, Robusto 5.5x50, Toro 6x52, and the Grand Toro 6x60. In my opinion, it's a cigar for the ages as far as Connecticut's go. It was created with the everyday smoker in mind. So the wrapper on this is a Connecticut shade, the binder is a Connecticut shade, and the filler is the Habano Mete, the Pennsylvania, and the Paraguay. What makes this Connecticut different, I think, is the Pennsylvania.
Yep, the Paraguay. Because the Paraguay in there too, bro. Don't forget that.
I know,
That's a little scotch of stuff. It does you good.
That's what gives it that little bit of white pepper flavor in there.
Gives you some complex nuances is what it does.
It sure does. It sure does.
A heavenly oasis of complex
It's a heavenly
nuance.
oasis on the palate.
I don't want to have to get you to get your thesaurus out, so I'll let the readers read the full review online. We'll force them to go to the website.
All right.
This is a beautiful golden wrapper. The cigar has been dubbed by several in the industry the Connecticut Miracle, and the story behind that is that it was one of the first Connecticut's to hit the market that wasn't a standard Connecticut, that actually offered a little bit of more flavor as opposed to just the light smoke. Fuad and George really nailed it with this one, and have been quoted as saying that it's their breakfast tradition. They won't start their day without it. So it's got a smooth, silky, creamy smoke, hint of white pepper, couples with some cinnamon. It's not your typical Connecticut. It's jam-packed with flavor and still caters to anybody's flavors. I give this a box worthy based on smokability and reliability.
There you go.
Cigar.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. You mentioned something, which I think it speaks to, if you're listening, future of cigars. I think 2019, we're going to start to see a more complex Connecticut's.
Absolutely.
So you know how 2017, 2018 was Nicaragua, spice, pepper, flavor bomb, pepper for days, flavor for days, wicked awesome, Lajero, it's strong. That was 2017, 2018. I think 2019, IPCPR, if I could already stop my predictions. I got to stop making the notes here. I'm glad I got my little journal here. Right, so I got to stop making my 2019 Stogie Geeks notes so I can kind of,
And write down lots of adjectives.
Yeah, hopefully produce a well-rounded show in 2019. But I think in 2019, IPCPR, first prediction, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more complex Connecticut's come out, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more blends. Not picking any names yet, that are going to have Connecticut broadleaf in the forefront.
I would like to see what James Brown would do with the Connecticut.
Stogie Geeks called that an angler. You throw it off a boat. But no, I'm putting words in someone's mouth. I'm just, now I get an email. I freaking love this smoke. I mean, I can't get off the stick. This is
Heard that about you.
Yeah. This is Don Carlos. I'm sorry, let me start this over. This is the Arturo Fluente Don Carlos Personal Reserve.
Yes.
Oh! Even yesterday, I did an errand for Paul, and I come back, and he, boom, Don Carlos. I was like, dude, you know me. Like, you know what I mean?
And anything Don Carlos out of that Fuente line is beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And I always tell the listeners, and I tell people this in shops, if you're new to cigars and you don't know what the difference is between the Arturo Fuente line and the Arturo Fuente Don Carlos, very simple. Okay? When you open up the box in the shop, there's a velvet color. There's a velvet that's set up against the box on the inside of the box, and it's one of two colors, black or red. And then it has the Arturo Fuente logo on there. If it's red, it's the Arturo Fuente stuff. If it's black, it's Don Carlos edition. I always say that if you can get your hands on, you open up the box and it has black, definitely pay attention to that. It's usually $1 or $2 more a stick sometimes. Some shops price it all the same, whatever. It all depends on what their methodology is. However, I really think that that's the way to go. It is the Arturo Fuente Don Carlos Personal Reserve. I had the Robusto. It is a 5 1/4 by 50. Wrapper binder filler are non-disclosed. A little bit of history with the stick. Carlos Fuente Sr. celebrated his birthday for the 30th year. I'm sorry, he celebrated his 80th birthday and the 30th year of production with this brand. Don Carlos had 2 special cigars that were released from his personal blend. It was the Eye of the Shark, awesome stick as well, and it was the Don Carlos Private Reserve. You get a smooth caramel sweetness. You get some notes in there. You get some pepper. You get a little bit of vanilla. It's not overbearingly sweet, although it is mild. But I'd say that it's barely medium in strength, but it'll dance on your palate. And it's just mildly tasty in regards to there. It brings out a good sweetness and taste there. The pepper does die down a little bit too quick for me, but it's definitely not a deterrent there. It's just a mild stick. If you want to work the pepper, you got a retrohale. You can continue doing that. If you do retrohale, you'll get some spices that kind of kick in at the end. You'll be able to pick up a little bit of pepper again that you originally started with if you were originally doing a regular draw. I gave it a box worthy. That's a very strong rating for me there, but box worthy all day. I think they're awesome. I don't know what the white kit gloves come with. I don't know if you've ever seen one in the shop, Chris. They come with white gloves on the box, and if you were to get a box, I know why they did it. Pay homage. When I did a little bit more research about Arturo Fuente, and apparently, Carlos bought off his dad for $1. The whole gig. So that'd be good. That's a good business move, right? Keeping it in the family and doing that. But I know, I think it's awesome.
It was supposed to be given to him, but I guess there's some laws or something there.
Yeah, you got to do that. So you give it a $1. I mean, it's great. It's great. It's a great turnaround key. Buy a business for $1 that has a target audience and already a current rate of sales.
It'll work.
Sign me up.
It's kind of what about
you want to talk about a family that knows more than we could ever dream of learning about tobacco.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Those guys are just Jesus.
Yeah. I did Ancestry.com. My name is Joe Hozempa, not Joey Fuente, so I'll continue not going over there. All right, there you go. That was, for those of you who are listening on audio, I gave the Arturo Fuente Don Carlos Personal Reserve a box worthy. You have 2 more sticks. I have 1 more stick. Let's finish this up.
All right, so we're going back to the James Brown era. We're going to go back to his Blackworks studio, and we're going to talk about his Killer B. This is another one of those sticks that's in my top 5. And don't worry, if I come back for more cigar reviews, I'll promise to do something that I don't like quite as much.
No, you're doing what you want. That's cool.
So this one features an Ecuadorian Maduro wrapper with a Nicaraguan binder, Nicaraguan filler. Medium to full-bodied throughout. If you're used to smoking lighter cigars, this cigar would be very full-bodied for you. The cigar has a rating of 95. It's, in my opinion, a cigar enthusiast dreams if you like pepper. As per par with James, the Killer Bee, as the name suggests, starts out with a powerful packed punch of black pepper. After a few moments, though, it mellows into, and here we go, a beautiful symphony.
Beautiful symphony.
I love it because I have a rebuttal that I've been formatted in my head. Go ahead.
Of course, a beautiful symphony of cedar-like wood with hints of chocolate and white pepper. The smooth white pepper turns into a nice spicy black pepper flavor on the retrohale. Stick is consistent throughout and will not disappoint. So based on the flavor and how awesome the cigar is, I gave it a box worthy. So there you go.
I will add to that. James Brown has orchestrated the construction of the cap of the Killer Bee to be extraordinarily phenomenal.
Those are some big words.
What do you think about that? You need to talk about the
totally
cap. How can you not talk about the cap of the Killer Bee? The cap.
I to be honest with you, I forgot about it, but you're absolutely right. It's like a freaking 5 cap or something. I mean, it's
Tell you
the way
something.
he does it.
He's orchestrated the construction for phenomenal capping of cigars. Okay. That's cool. Right? So, yeah. So I really think that with the cap, I think that's really good. You have one more. I have one more. Let's wrap this up.
All right. Last but not least, something from Nick Perdomo is their biggest seller right now. The Perdomo Estate Seleccion Maduro. Cigar offers a blend of Nicaraguan tobaccos that are aged perfectly down at Nick's factory. The Maduro wrapper is a true Maduro, offering sweet aromatics and smoke that smell and taste of cinnamon, cocoa, and pepper. This stick is currently the cream of the crop for Perdomo and comes in at a reasonable price for most. I would give this stick, I don't know why I put $5 there, because this stick is definitely box worthy in my opinion.
Yeah. Perdomo's got a good price point, too, for Stogie Geeks listeners. They have a good price point, and they've done a good job at keeping that for the Stogie Geeks listener. You gave it a box worthy?
I did, yeah. I don't know why I put $5 in there.
No.
I gotta change.
Yeah.
But it's based on price and construction. I'd buy a box all day long.
Can you repeat the blend again? Just for the, because I get a bunch of emails saying that when they listen to it on the audio version, we give the rating and I always go off on a tangent. Their words, not mine. And then they have to rewind it to find out what the heck it was rated. So
I couldn't find the exact blend, but it's a blend.
No, I'm
of
not talking about the
Nicaraguan.
blend. I'm talking about the name. I'm sorry. I said blend. My Bloody Mary's kicking in.
It's the Perdomo Estate Seleccion.
Yeah.
Maduro.
There you go. Well, I like it. And you get a Perdomo Estate Seleccion Maduro. So before I wrap up and give my last rating, what have you been smoking?
Oh, I smoke, stuff that I would have to describe as, I don't know, a hint of ambergris with, like horse sweat and often road tar and no, I mostly what I smoke is yeah.
What'd you smoke yesterday on the show?
One of those punch number 60 Maduros.
Okay.
Those it's a 6x60. I'm not a connoisseur as you can tell, and I like them because they're consistent. This is a review for the people that don't expect a symphony and C sharp major of nuance.
Like it.
This is more like the B flat,
got it.
Yeah, it's just like no alternate tunings or anything. I like it because it's consistent. It has a fairly rich taste. It's nowhere near as rich as like the kind of stuff you guys are talking about. But for the price point, I'll use all your terms. For the price point, it's a rich symphony of cheapness.
There you go.
Compared to like a lot of other stuff. I mean, like when we went to Davidoff in Vegas and we were smoking these, really expensive cigars. For me, they were really expensive. Yeah, they beat the pants off those. But for something you're going to smoke, all the time, they burn consistently. They don't fall apart. Mm-hmm. I've got some like 99-cent Mexican cigars that don't have names on them in a box, and you can light them up, and they're like smoking sawdust. But, hey, they cost 99 cents. So if you're a real addict, they'll get you through the day. But But I like those 6x60s. I like that size. I don't know why. I just like it. You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I've been smoking.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's good. We'll have to take some more notes when you come back on the show.
Yeah.
Give us an update. You know, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Try to pay attention to what you do. I'll save the labels at least.
Oh yeah, I know.
You can just hand me the labels and we can do some
And you
research.
can analyze it.
Yeah, we can do some research. I started a 2019 goal for Stogie Geeks and for myself. Next door, we have access to Louis Falto Cigars. And Louis Falto is no stranger to Stogie Geeks. We've had an interview with him here. It was awesome. And what I find unique about this cigar company is that it makes a bunch of different blends, and each size, each blend is different, right? And I've gone through here at Stogie Geeks, and I've been in and out of Falto for a couple years now, and I can't remember which ones I liked because, I didn't really take notes and documentations. So what I did was I started a journal here, right, with my Louis Falto label and my notes, and I am going to continue with updates so that I can officially go through the whole repertoire, because it's not one of those things where you can try one and try a different size and give it a rating, and then it's a really unique cigar experience. Each blend and each size are different, and they're all different. And once they're gone, and they just reinvent stuff there. However, for today's stick, I had the Falto Mentor. Its size, again, one size, is a Toro. It's a 5 by 54. Your wrapper is from Ecuador. Your binder is a Sumatra binder from Brazil with some Cameroon in there. You like Cameroon? This stick could be for you. Cameroon tells me it's going to be smooth and spicy. However, your filler is Dominican, and it has some fillers from Brazil and Nicaragua. They're available in 20 box counts. Louis Falto, the Mentor, Toro, was blended in honor of the man who taught him everything he knows about tobacco and cigars. That would be Manuel Anoa, who we've had here on the show a couple of times. It's good stuff. The cigar is fairly complex for a novice smoker. When you smoke this, you're going to be like, wow, it's very spicy. Not peppery, not heavy, just very, very spicy. I think that comes from the Brazilian and the Cameroon, for sure. You're going to get it. It's going to be medium, maybe medium to full, depending on your cigar experience there. And it's going to carry an awesome balance with a spectrum. You like that? A spectrum, Chris. A spectrum of subtle tones of nuts and coffee and spice.
And everything nice.
And everything nice. And that being said, all kidding aside, I gave it a box split. Only reason why I gave it a box split is, I'm just starting out with those blends, and I'm going to keep accurate notes of what I like and what I think would be awesome for a Stogie Geek listener to try. There's not a whole lot of shops that carry them. They are very limited. I know they're not taking on any more of retailers, so you can get them. And all the more reason, if you are one of those retailers, to have a cigar company like that, you might want to consider going online so people can find you and get your sticks. With that being said, I want to thank Dr. Doug White for appearing in studio. And Chris, thank you for your commentary on that. Tune in next week when we continue the Stogie Geek Show.